Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast, a podcast carefully designed to introduce a wide range of very talented and highly skilled professionals ready to share their knowledge and advice with you. Please welcome the host of I Got a Guy podcast, Michael Drelichars.
Hello. Welcome to I Got a Guy podcast. I'm your host, Michael Drelichars. Thank you so much for being with us yet again. We have so many loyal subscribers. I'm thrilled to have you all joining with us. And for our new subscribers, thank you for finding us. We do add new subscribers every week, and that's a testament to the quality of the guests that we have on our show. As you know, I Got a Guy podcast was born out of a book called The Go-Giver. Go-Giver is a great story about the power of giving referrals in growing a business. So many people think that growing a business is done through getting referrals, but the reality is it's done through giving referrals. And in the process of giving referrals, you grow your business. The book was very interesting, very informative. And if you haven't read it yet, I encourage you to do so and check it out. Bob Burg is the author. In the book, there's actually 5 laws of stratospheric success. And it's interesting because so many of these laws pertain directly to the guests that we have each and every week. And the law I wanted to focus on today, which really marries up very closely with our guest, is the law of value. And it's defined by give more in value than you receive in payment. Give more in value than receive in payment. And you're going to find as you get to know our guest this week, how the information he provides is so valuable, especially to small business owners trying to make a mark in the world and grow their business. It far exceeds the fees that he charges for his services. But so allow me to introduce our guest, which today is Jared Silver from Abbott Labs Marketing. Jared, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us this week.
Thank you for having me here, Michael. And I love that quote about value. I've lived by that. I've always taught my kids under promise and over deliver.
That's right. Makes a big difference. And it makes a big difference in general, but certainly for small businesses, it's really such an instrumental component to significant growth. When your clients really see how you deliver more value, and then they share that message with their circles of influence. So I'm sure that's how your business has grown over the years.
That is correct.
So as we get started here and introducing Abbott Labs Marketing to our audience, tell us a little bit about how you came to where you are today. And video hasn't always been in the world as it is today. You certainly have developed this over time. So tell us a little bit about your history and your passion for video marketing.
Okay, well, I'll go back. I'll keep it as short as I can.
Yeah.
My first 20 years in business, I was a product photographer. I had local and national clients, and they're all very demanding of high quality photography. Among them, some ad agencies, AT&T, Abbott Labs, Cuisine Cookware, DuraClean, Goletz, the makers of Jelly Bellies. Most people know what those are.
Sure.
Sara Lee, Kraft Foods, Xerox. And I love that. I thought my career, I was in my early 30s and I thought I'm set for life. But then this technology came along. Digital technology came to photography. So I created a new service called Executive Portrait Specialists. And our point of distinction is that everyone is guaranteed they will either like or love their photo. And the way that works is our proprietary process. We retouch your photo with you during your photo session. Virtually impossible not to love your photo. Been that service since 1995. Bandwidth expanded on the internet, as we all remember. By the mid-2000s, video streaming became very popular. The bandwidth increased exponentially. You could actually click and watch a video in real time. It was amazing.
Right.
So I thought, well, this might be a really good opportunity for business leaders, entrepreneurs to connect with their prospects and their clients in a new way. Not just pictures, but moving pictures and talkies. It's kind of a double-edged sword because a lot of people hesitate I mean, I've had people initially saying, Jared, I don't even like having my picture taken. Now I've got to talk to the camera. So
Right.
there's challenges there. But what I do is I guide people through that. And I have a great empathy for that. It was only about 14, 15 years ago that I first stepped on the front side of the video camera. Now, I'd been producing videos for clients and coaching them for about a decade already. I thought, hey, I can do this. How hard can it be? I'm a lighting expert from my photography experience. So, the production quality is covered. So even if I'm not that good on video in front of the camera, I'll still get by. My first video was a train wreck. It was, there was no one in the studio with me. I reviewed the tapes and I destroyed them. It took me many, many, many months to teach myself how to overcome that and sound like myself. So that's what I do now. Primarily is I coach people, I guide people through that hesitation, through those bumps in the road of getting comfortable talking to a piece of glass, a glass
Sure.
lens.
Well, certainly, and that is a daunting task for the average American that is maybe not as confident and doesn't have the experience.
Right.
You have to do it a number of times and do it with successful coaching behind you, so you know what to correct. Doing the same thing over and over doesn't necessarily mean perfection, but you have to adjust it and tweak it and have a critical eye provide that feedback so that you can get a little bit better. And in that process, you gain the confidence to be able to do it easily and without any hesitation. So today you primarily do the video coaching today, right? That's your primary focus.
That's my changing focus because I was doing the coaching while producing videos with clients for clients, and I realized this is really needed, very much
Right.
so. So I'm developing an online hybrid course for teaching this. I also do one-on-one coaching. I do small group workshops. The presentation, I think, is the most important part. Not to say that production quality isn't important, not to say that your messaging isn't important as well. I coach people on creating their message, creating the scripts, and their lighting and sound, setting up their in-house studio. All three of those components go together.
Sure. Yeah, it is a package deal. If you're able um, to get all those aspects fine tuned, your end result is far superior.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll really stand out in the crowd.
So do you help clients with just like short intro videos, or do you do longer videos, a little training seminar? I mean, to what degree do you provide these services for your clients?
Well, as far as production goes, from concept through completion. So if someone wants to create, like as you said, training videos, online course, I'll help them with the initial concept. We'll talk it through. I help them create their scripts and their lessons. They have to be short modules because our attention span these days is not that big and shrinking. So
Sure.
design that, help them with their questionnaires, little assignments that come after each video. What else can I tell you about that? That's the training videos or instructional videos. There's also what I call landing page videos or your why video that would appear on the homepage of your website. It could be go
Right.
on a LinkedIn profile page. And those we shoot for under 60 seconds to let people know what you're all about, what your point of distinction is about in your business, and how they're going to benefit.
Sure.
I like
Sure.
the process, but those key elements, what do I get? The what's in it for me elements, and then a strong call to action. There are also video testimonials. Social proof is so powerful. It always has been, but even more so now when you can see and hear the person giving their sharing their success story.
Yeah, and I think the audience has changed. I even find myself preferring to watch more videos than reading lengthy text. So if you can watch somebody give a video testimonial, I think I think you're more apt to have that testimonial experienced, and if you can do it well in a professional manner, the
Mhm.
message comes across more clearly and more succinctly, and overall more successfully. I think it's a win-win if you do a really good video testimonial.
And to capture those testimonials, the keys are being cognizant. If it's done on location, you have to be cognizant of lighting. You don't want your subject backlit because they become silhouetted. You have to have decent sound. If it's a noisy environment, like at an expo or something, you should carry a cardioid mic, a directional microphone, so you can pick up,
Sure.
back them to you. And you've got to ask the right questions, right? The quality of the response, the quality of their answers depends on the quality of the questions that you ask. So I train people on how to do that themselves. It's
Right.
actually preferable over, hiring me to go out and get a testimonial because you capture it in the moment.
Right. So do you find a lot of your clients will like script out their commercial before you record it, or is it all done kind of off the cuff, or maybe internalized, memorized, if you will?
Well, some people have a photographic memory, but regardless of that, I strongly recommend, in fact, I have a video I can share with you on that. Strongly recommend that we script our messages because if it's a promotional video, remember the attention span this big.
Right.
Google tells us we have 4 seconds or less to grab the attention of our viewer. Otherwise, they click out. So you want to script that video, the entire thing. Otherwise, if we start going off on a tangent, guess what? People go off your video. We don't want that to
Right.
happen.
Right. And you miss that window of opportunity to catch your attention if you're not laser focused with the exact right wording up front to catch their attention.
Right.
I can see that correlation.
Scripting your message rather than winging it, as so many people do, especially those who are really good presenters in front of a live audience. Oh, they come into the studio, Jared. I don't need to script it. I know what I want to say. They can't do it. It's very important to script your message. So here's another short success story. Kelly is an entrepreneurial couples coach. She had the opportunity to speak live in front of an audience of entrepreneurial couples. I mean, how targeted can you get? But the contingency was she had to send in a short video explaining what she does. So I'll show you her before video and then the after video that I did with her.
We went from me talking at my smartphone to my ultra confident video clone delivering an engaging message to my target audience.
My name is Kelly Clemens, creator of The Entrepreneur, and I am so honored to have been nominated as a speaker for your 2018 conference. My formal video is not yet produced, it's still in production, so I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to you and share a little bit about my topic. I talk about the 3 secret rules of thriving entrepreneurial couples, and after 14 years of coaching entrepreneurs through companies like The Strategic Coach and Lifebook, I noticed that
Your members are looking for an edge. They come to you in pursuit of any and all strategies that will help them grow their business so they can enjoy higher levels of freedom and fulfillment, right? But what if their secret weapon actually had nothing to do with business? What if their secret weapon was their spouse? And what if they discovered that secret in your next meeting? Hi, my name is Kelly Clemens, and after 15 years of coaching successful entrepreneurs in well-established organizations, I've witnessed the undeniable impact a supportive spouse has. We went from me talking at my smartphone to my ultra-confident video clone delivering an engaging message to my target audience, the decision makers who have the ability to hire me. My passion is impacting the lives of entrepreneurial couples. But until and unless I can connect with the directors of the organizations who can put me in front of those couples, literally and figuratively, I'm limited in the number of people I can serve. Using the VPW scripting worksheets as a guide, Jared worked with me by phone and email to tighten up my message. My body language and facial expressions had to be congruent with my message. I learned how to use the teleprompter the right way so I'd look and sound natural. Watching the playbacks, along with Jared's coaching, was very helpful. I love having a competent video clone to help me sell. What a difference. Jarrett, thank you so much for your help.
What a dramatic difference between those two examples. And it's interesting because that gal Kelly, she had a lot of passion, even on her pre-scripted. It wasn't a lack of passion, it wasn't a lack of confidence.
No, not at all. It's just the scripting of the message. She's trying to wing it. It was all over the place.
Right. And obviously adding the graphics to the screen as well kind of helps support that. But working on the messaging, the way you say the get their attention quickly before she introduces herself.
Yes. Yeah. What we say and the way we say it are very important.
It does come down to passion. You have, and I would hope that any small business owner that is recording a promotional video for their website or for a marketing message has that passion to get to be more than just reading words off a teleprompter. You can use the words there as a guide so you don't miss the important salient points, but you got to put the passion behind it. Otherwise, what's the point?
You got it.
Yeah, very good. So that's interesting. I find this fascinating, and as I think back to the last even 10 or 12 years, I originally bristled at the thought of people shifting away from the written word and the written message to being so lazy to always watch a video, and yet I find myself moving in that direction as well. And I watch videos as shorts, whether it be on YouTube or Rumble or TikTok, and if you get past all the craziness, you can get some really good information. And
Yeah.
I've changed my own personal opinion on that because I find that it's really valuable.
Yeah, there is some valuable content out there, and it is delivered very quickly in bite-sized nuggets.
Right. Yeah. The attention span is short. So even when I've done a few commercials in the past, I try to keep them to a minute to 75 seconds or so. Just to, otherwise it becomes too wordy, too lengthy, and you miss the message.
Very good. Very good. So going back to the topic of using a teleprompter properly, can I show you a sample video here?
Sure, please.
Hear this, and you can hear the difference.
As we're getting set up here with this video clip, to our audio listeners, there'll be audio here on this clip, and we'll talk it through. But if you want to watch what's being shared, I encourage you to go to YouTube and Rumble to I Got a Guy podcast. You'll be able to see exactly what Jared is sharing with us.
There's a difference between reading a teleprompter and using a teleprompter. This is the Twilight Zone example. You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it lies another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're entering a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Versus, you unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it lies another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're entering a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. Now add some music texture. You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it lies another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're entering a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone. But even with the music, if the cadence and the phrasing and the pauses aren't in there, it doesn't work.
Well said on that.
So as you're saying, the delivery and the cadence is very important to get the
Right.
message.
Right. And your firm can kind of put it all together, and you have, so if you were to film somebody for a commercial and you had a teleprompter, you would have obviously be training them. You'd be able to add in the audio afterward as well, and kind of piece it all together, the video content.
That is correct. And I also train people to do it themselves, to self-produce.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I like that idea.
And I do have a team of editors if people don't want to bother with the editing, which can get tedious, and it does require a little bit of experience to
Sure.
edit your videos for you at a reasonable fee.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. But just watching that video clip, we're able to see the dramatic differences. Same words, same
word.
message.
Yeah. But the intention, installing the intention in delivering it, and the cadence and the phrasing and the strategic pauses make a huge difference.
Right. So if you have somebody that is brand new to filming themselves and they're a little nervous, you're going to have to get them past all that to get to a point where they can be comfortable and confident and passionate about what they're doing.
Correct. We do that with our students and with the clients.
Yeah, good. Well, that's awesome. That's a great example of not only how you can use technology to enhance your message, but enhance how you're saying it. So thank you for sharing that. Jared, we're gonna take a break here for a second. What I'd like to do though before we do the break is get your contact information so our listeners and our viewers can reach out to you if they'd like some assistance from At a Glance Marketing. So what's the best way for them to reach out to you to get started with the conversation?
Text and phone call. My cell phone number is 847-774-9568. So a text followed by a phone call would be great. If you just call, sorry, there's so many spam calls coming through, I probably won't answer, but a text would be great. The website is at aglancemarketing.com.
Great. Okay. Ataglancemarketing.com. Yeah, I will put this on the screen. It'll also be in the show notes. So it'll be on our website, which is iGotAGuyPodcast.com, where all of our episodes are listed, and our users can go right there to get your information and reach out to you. And as I tell my listeners every week, when you reach out to Jared, make sure you tell him you heard about him here on I Got a Guy podcast.
That's right.
So we're going to take a short break, hear from our sponsor, come back, and I want you to share some more successes and some more details. I know you have a few other video examples you want to share with us, but I really want our audience to be able to get their arms around how you can help them in their particular challenge when it comes to video producing.
Absolutely. Right. You meet people wherever they're at along their business video path.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. So we'll be back in just a minute, and then we'll continue with Jared Silver from At a Glance Marketing. So stay tuned. Thank you for listening to I Got a Guy podcast. I hope you're getting a lot of knowledge from this week's guest. But now a word from our sponsor. If your business uses heavy equipment as part of its daily routine, sadly, I don't need to educate you on the reality that this equipment has been the focus of many local thieves either. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions works with business owners that own commercial vehicles and heavy equipment. We help these business owners enhance their growth and profit through the use of GPS tracking technology. Recovering a stolen asset is just one way we contribute to the bottom line of the business. Our GPS tracking units used in heavy equipment are weather tight so they can handle the elements and even have an internal battery to continue to report its location should the battery in the asset be disconnected. We have several examples of the benefits of GPS tracking in heavy equipment. Reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions for a detailed discussion about our options and to see if it makes sense for your business. You can find Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions at precisefleettracking.com. That's precisefleettracking.com. Or call us at 847-865-6008. Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. GPS tracking made simple. Now, back to the show. Okay, we are back. I am Michael Drellichars, host of I Got a Guy podcast. Thank you for sticking with us. This week, we are honored to have Jared Silver as our guest from At a Glance Marketing. And first part of the show, we heard a lot about his history, but also about the importance of a good video image and a video production. And he did share us an example of how to properly use a teleprompter in your marketing. So Jared, thank you for being with us.
Very happy to be here, sir.
Great. Great topic and great discussion before the break. But now I want to get into a few more successes, and I'd like you to help our audience kind of get their arms around the value that you do provide. And as we said, the law of value is what I really want to focus on, because I know how important and exponentially important your training would be. Once a user learns how to do it the right way, it's something they can carry on for years to come.
Right.
So they can multiply their return on their investment. So I think making an investment in your services makes so much sense. But share some other examples, if you will, of how you've been able to help folks either get over some hurdles or just be more successful.
Sure. Well, one client, Dr. Layla Ali, is a holistic pharmacist, and she's going to start teaching some classes on Zoom. And she came to me because she wasn't real happy with the quality of her video. Content, great. She's a stand-up comic in addition to being a pharmacist. So she knows how to deliver to an audience. Talking to the lens, a different matter. Her lighting and sound wasn't that good. I'll show you what happened. Here's a short before and after video with Dr. Layla. I'm talking with Dr. Layla Ali right now. Layla, we're going to be working together shortly. Can you explain what you'd like to accomplish?
Yeah, so I'm going to start teaching classes, giving Zoom meetings, and I haven't really done much of that in the last few years. So I'd like to get up to speed with the equipment and the sound, and so I can you look great on camera. I don't think I do, so I hope you can help me.
Okay, well, we're going to fix that, all right?
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
And here we are in your after. Lights are in place. The green screen is properly adjusted. You're looking great. You're looking as professional on screen as you do in person. How do you feel about this?
Well, thank you, Jared, for the compliment and for helping me get set up.
So you can hear the difference in the sound quality. And if you notice on the back wall there, that big poster, that's actually her book cover.
That's great. So you did a few things in that video. You added some lighting because her face was brighter.
Right.
You must have added an external microphone or something because the sound quality was drastically different.
Correct. She actually had a nice Blue Yeti microphone. She didn't know how to use it. It's a directional.
Oh, really?
She actually had it. I think she had it sideways or backwards, so she wasn't speaking into it. It was picking up sound from the room.
Yeah. I use Blue Yeti microphone myself. They work really well. So you helped her with a microphone, you helped her with the lighting, and you gave her a virtual background, which kind of
part of the lighting, because if a lot of people don't understand that just having a green screen doesn't automatically make the virtual background work. You have to have it lit correctly. And I'm on a virtual background right now, and as you can see, at no time do my body parts leave my body as I move around. I think we've all seen that happen.
We have, and yeah, you're exactly right. And it's I didn't realize it was lighting related because I've seen that a number of. I mean, we're all on Zoom so much throughout our life, and sometimes it's people are almost transposed. It's odd looking with the virtual backgrounds in some cases. I didn't realize the lighting was the cause of that.
Yeah, it is. I call that digital static. That's one form of digital static when your body parts disappear, or just bad lighting if you don't have a branded background. If you're backlit, like I said before, if you silhouette it, you look like you're in witness protection. That's not good either. Not very engaging.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Yeah. So how do you figure out the best lighting for? I mean, every situation's got to be different, right? You have to take into account the ambient light.
Correct. Ideally, you're in a room where you have light blocking shades or curtains. Then you just set up your lights, and the nice thing about it, you set all your lighting and your sound, you set it all up once, and you just keep on using it, like you say.
Okay, so you did replicate it once you get it all set up.
And I've done this virtual. Well, Dr. Alley is in California. We did all this virtually on Zoom. I had her measure out a room with the tape measure, holding her phone as a camera on Zoom. I told her where to measure from the back of this chair to that window to the bookcase to here. So as she did that, I sketched out the room. Then I was able to recommend the lighting equipment and the green screen background that would fit in the room. And when it got shipped to her, she called me back. We set an appointment. I guided her through setting it all up.
Okay. Well, that's very very skilled, because as I'm looking at you right now, for our audio listeners, I really do encourage you to check out the YouTube and Rumble feed, especially for this episode, because it's the power is in the video. But Jared, there's no black line around your outline.
Nope.
It looks so natural, where most of the time the virtual background on Zoom is not very natural.
That's a good point too. I also work with my clients and students to find a background that's appropriate, or we'll create a custom background, which
Yes.
is basically a photograph.
Sure. Well, looks great. Looks great. You definitely you use the tools that you sell, and it shows very well.
Got to lead by example, right?
That's right. Eat your own dog food, as they say. All right. So, what other examples you want to share with us today? Because that was another great example.
A little behind the scenes coaching with Reverend Jocelyn Jones, and I'll let her tell you what the story is. You'll get it as you see the sample. Script 1, 5, 4, 3.
The pandemic, domestic abuse, gun violence, depression. Unfortunately, more members of your church have been experiencing more pain in recent years. As a church leader, you can no longer be silent about what is happening in your congregation. You want to do more to help your members to heal, but there are challenges. Pastors don't have the capacity to provide the type of counseling that trauma survivors need. And if you have a church of leaders who are willing to step up, that's fantastic. But you may not have the resources to train these leaders to provide the necessary trauma-informed care to the body.
Number 1, slow it down a little, then a little more, and a little more.
Okay.
The delivery is great. You got the message in your head.
Okay.
But the other thing I really need to hear is some pauses.
Yeah, I'm bad about that.
You form the message in your head, then you write out your script. Now it's become words on paper or on the screen. You send it over here, we put it on the teleprompter. Now it's words going like this, which
Yeah.
you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Our attention span of our audience is like this, and it's shrinking. So we got
Talk
this
fast.
tendency to talk really fast, but slow
Yeah,
down.
that's the area I'm really trying to grow in. So that's helpful. Like anytime I do that, it's a natural thing for me to speed up.
Yes.
I will try my best.
See the face of one of your favorite clients. And
Okay.
You're talking to him, to her. And you just delivered an important message. Pause and let your face, let your hands do what they normally do.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
that makes perfect sense. That's good. The pandemic, domestic abuse, gun violence, depression. Unfortunately, members of your church have been experiencing tremendous pain in recent years. As a church leader, you can no longer be silent about what's happening in your congregation. You want to do more to help your members heal, but there are challenges. Pastors don't have the capacity to provide the type of counseling that trauma survivors need. And if you have a church of leaders who are willing to step up, that's fantastic. But you might not have the resources to train these leaders to provide the necessary trauma-informed care to the body.
She was already very good. She was
Right.
already good, but just these subtle changes, little subtle changes, but they add up. So altogether, it's very powerful.
It really is, and it really elevates the professionalism of the end result.
That's right.
I see it. Sometimes you can tell when it's a homegrown video versus a professionally engineered production.
And in many cases like this, where she's already very polished and presenting to an audience, all I'm doing with the coaching is just reminding them of how good they are and the subtle things they used to do that, well, now you have to do it to a lens. Visualize an audience. As I said, visualize one of your favorite clients.
Right. Right.
Something
Yeah, that's really powerful. And I can see so many people needing this kind of guidance and advice, um, just to get over that hump and get past the initial fear of speaking to a camera. Well, Jared, I can imagine some people may tell you, they don't like how they sound on recording. They don't like the sound of their own voice.
I hear that a lot. I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with my hands. But we address all those issues and we fix it for them.
Is that simply a confidence thing, or is there more to it than just self-confidence?
It's a little more. That's often part of it, but I think it has more to do with where you're placing your attention, because we normally don't talk to a lens. We become very mechanical when we have to talk to a non-person, right?
Right.
So we're focused so much on trying to be natural in an unnatural situation. We're not focused on what we want to say or how we normally say it, because as my friend Louis Sharp says, he coaches people on stage. Your hands know what they need to do. Let them go. But when we're talking to a piece of glass, the second soundtrack in our head is, oh yeah, talk with my hands. So we start talking. That's why you see people looking so mechanical when they're on screen. So all these extra distractions are going on, causing the digital static that make the videos basically bad videos.
Right.
People click off.
And if somebody focuses more on the mechanics, they might miss their message.
You're not connecting with your passion and how you would normally deliver it.
Right.
Instead of eyeballs, instead of a lens.
So that becomes a double negative, essentially. If you get the wrong message and the wrong movements, you really wasted your time.
Yeah. It all has to come together. And without you thinking too much about it, it can be quite a challenge for people. It does take some practice. Again, a little bit of guidance, a little coaching helps a lot. I wish I had that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, what do you think about people using video in like LinkedIn messaging and LinkedIn posts? Do you think I'm sorry?
It's great to do that. But again, you still need to script it. You need to present it authentically so you sound like you, and there has to be a purpose for it.
Right. Yeah, I was recently talking with my daughter, who she's now gainfully employed, but at the time she was looking for her first job out of college, and I recommended that she record a video of her resume to send out via LinkedIn, because she was sending out dozens of resumes, and I'm sure these business owners are getting thousands of resumes for every job opening that they have.
That's correct.
And so separating your resume from another resume when it's words on a piece of paper, I think is really hard to do. And I suggested to her to record a video resume telling about her strengths, her experiences in college, what she's focused on, how she can help an organization. She ended up finding a job that she was passionate about, fit her skill set before she needed to do that. But I was just curious from your standpoint, if you've done that before, or what your thoughts are in that area.
I have done it in the past for some people. It was the it was in Barrington. The career, I forgot the name of it, but it was a career guidance center, and I was doing photos for them, professional photos, and I offered to do videos for them as well. We did a couple, and I think they're very effective.
Yeah. It sounds to me like it would be a useful tool to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff.
Absolutely, because not too many people do it. We know why, right?
That's
That's
right.
Look, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to say. Well, script it out, get a little coaching, practice. And for those of you watching, listening, practice not in front of a mirror, but to the video recorder on your smartphone. Because last time I looked, my mirror didn't have a playback button.
That's
You
right.
little things. When you're looking in the mirror, you're focused on what you're saying. You can't really study your face, can't really listen to what you're saying that well. So just
Yeah.
do little recordings. It's a great biofeedback tool.
Yeah, that's great advice. Very simple. Everyone has access to Zoom, and I do the same thing myself. If I have a new message, or as you know, Jared, I network a lot, as you do. So if I want to change up my 60-second intro that I use in a networking event, I'll actually record it on a Zoom call, and I'll just be myself and my camera, and I'll do it 30 or 40 times sometimes, and I'll try different inflections, different facial expressions, different pace, different emphasis, and then use the playback to kind of evaluate how you would hear that if you were in the audience.
That's
So,
good. Now you're an audience member instead of the deliverer of the message.
right,
So
right.
that is,
And if you're really trying to improve, you can take a critical eye on, one video shot after the next, and you'll see the difference, and you'll be able to tell if that was a stranger, would you listen to that person or not?
exactly.
And
It's,
but the technology is not expensive. We
uh,
all have, like I said, we all have Zoom, whether it's on your phone or on your laptop, what have you. We all have access to this tool, and we're not spending a lot of money to become better.
no, no.
And and
It's
then and then if you want to really do something more bigger production, they just come to you, and you can, if they're struggling with that themselves, they can come to you. You can help them script a message,
absolutely, absolutely. I also
create
get
the
calls from people who say, Jared, these lights are recommended, this microphone, and I set it up. It still looks bad. They don't know what they don't know about how to use it. So sometimes I don't have to recommend people buy any equipment. I just drop in or do a Zoom call and I show them where to place the lights, where to place the microphone, how to adjust it all, and they're good to go from there
sure.
forward.
So simple advice
Yeah.
using the technology. So I guess, and that's the one other point I wanted to make. A lot of our listeners are here in the Chicagoland area because that's where we're based, and that's where my base of business is. But I have clients and we have listeners throughout the country, and actually throughout the world. We got quite a few overseas listeners to our show, and I want to make sure that even if they're not located here in the Chicagoland area, you could still help them because of the technology that we have at our disposal.
Of course, everyone has, as long as they have an internet connection, we can all connect.
Right. And one of your examples you shared with us was somebody in California, I think you said, right?
Right, right.
So, if any of our listeners, if you're not here in the Chicagoland area, don't worry. Jared can still give you some benefits and provide tremendous value to your video message. Well, this was awesome, Jared. I really appreciate the time you took to kind of put this together. You've thought through it, and to your point, I'll make one more other point here. When we do the show, I don't script out the show because I honestly refer to it as two dudes talking, and we happen to hit the record button because we're just having a conversation about your business, how you can grow your business, how I can help you grow your business, and introduce you to some other people that might benefit from your offerings.
Mhm.
And I don't script it, and I don't really want to script it,
No,
but
this is a different kind of video.
it definitely is. And I guess I wanted to emphasize that point. Um, it is a different video, but if you're going to produce something that is going to be replicated and sent out over social media or put on your website, professional video, lighting, microphone equipment, and scripting really does make a difference.
It does.
And winging it is not always, in fact, oftentimes not recommended. And certainly what Jared has told us today, it's really not the way to go.
It's fine for this. This is sort of a easy chair conversation, laid back. That's one, and I did plenty of stuttering as we talked. If it was a promotional video, I would have done a take two, take three, take four until I nailed it down and edited it together. But you're absolutely right. That's not what we're doing here today.
Right. Right. And that's by design. And I didn't want it to be scripted. I want it to be very casual and just beneficial. So I really think, and we've gotten tremendous feedback from our listeners, and from our guests who have heard from listeners, that's been really helpful. So I'm excited about it, and I want to continue to grow it. And I can't wait to hear about the folks that might call you off of this episode.
I'll be sure to let you know, and keep up the good work.
Great. So share with our listeners again the best way to reach out to you. You said text first and then call.
Yes. My cell phone number is 847-774-9568. So text and call. Website, if you want to look at some sample videos, is ataglancemarketing.com.
Great. ataglancemarketing.com. Perfect. And we'll put that in the show notes and on the screen for our viewers. They'll be able to get direct contact with you. And I will tell you, your website is also very well done. I've reviewed your website and I've listened to some of your videos there, and it's obviously I would expect nothing less than absolute perfection on your website, and it's very loaded with a lot of video content, and which speaks to what you do, but it really does show some great examples, even in addition to what was shared here today. So I encourage our listeners to go check it out and see it firsthand, and then reach out to you for that.
Okay.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for being with us this week, Jared. Much appreciated. And as I typically do, I want to throw in a quick little plug for Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions, my day job. I love this I Got a Guy podcast. I've been doing it now for a year and a half or so. And we've been really helping a lot of small businesses. And I think small businesses are such the foundation of a healthy U.S. economy. And I want to help small businesses grow wherever I can. So I do this as a passion to help other small businesses. But my day job is my own small business, which is Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. We provide GPS tracking to companies that own commercial vehicles. We help these business owners know where their vehicles are throughout the day, whether they're curious about where their drivers are, concerned about safety, or have experience with theft or misplacement of assets. We have solutions that can help, and it can be very beneficial to the bottom line of the business. So if you own commercial vehicles, I encourage you to reach out to Precise Fleet Tracking Solutions. Our website is precisefleettracking.com. That's precisefleettracking.com, or call us at 847-865-6008, 847-865-6008. We'll have a conversation and see if we can provide some benefits. So there we go. Thank you again. And to our listeners, thank you so much for listening. I encourage you to share this episode with your circles of influence and see how it'll continue to grow. So make it a great week, and we'll talk to you all soon. Take care.
Thank you for listening to I Got a Guy podcast. For past podcasts and more information, go to igotaguypodcast.com. That's igotaguypodcast.com. Please share this podcast on your social media feeds and tune in again next week to I Got a Guy podcast.